Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to, I guess, another video. Um, this one's a little bit, this is gonna be a little bit of a different kind of take on a video here. Now, as you guys know, in the past, I've, talked about my thoughts on restaurants and all that, and, how I kind of don't really like a lot of them and all that. Heck, I've done reviews on them in stores, which I probably need to get back to doing some of them, but I've been kind of busy with some stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I'm eventually gonna try to get back to that, but it's gonna be a little bit, just because things are kind of crazy. But I do have some reviews planned for October, and I've already done a couple of them. I do have more. Um, but anywho, if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I am getting closer to 1K subs. I'm actually at 600. I'm kind of hovering around 600 to 601 subs. So I don't know if those are like fake subs or something, So, just to make sure, make sure you guys are still subscribed because YouTube's subscriber count is very weird. Heck, earlier it was like randomly cutting in and out on my newer phone. Of course, it's my newer phone out of all things that I was cutting in and out of. Yeah, it's like it wouldn't let me play anything because I had to put something in the comments. Because I forgot to keep forgetting to do that on this Magic School Bus Halloween episode review I did. So yeah but yeah, I ended up getting to that. So it just took me a little while, but anywho, you guys can also follow me on Instagram/Threads. Also, you can follow me on X. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So, in today's video, I want to discuss the restaurants and all that, and stuff in general. A lot of restaurants and stores and all that, a lot of places in general. They don't have that vibe, they once did. They're not as colorful. They look more like these ugly looking boxes here and all that. Well, stores, a lot of them in general kind of are already like that. I mean, there were some like Circuit City, for example. Circuit Cities were like, heck, a lot of them that, like, when they went out of business, a lot of places you can tell if it was a Circuit City or Circuit City or not because of the shape of their building. But usually they had their typical, box buildings, but a lot of them would do some interesting stuff with their buildings. Walmart would have their smiley faces, Target had their lights on the walls, and restaurants were the same thing. You could go inside and eat something, but it felt like, they had a vibe to it, like McDonald's had McDonald Land and all that. They had their fancy roofs. Some locations even had their, their original design, but they had like their, they would probably like update it a little bit, but still keep it classy. Most of them, were I think were remodeled, but some of them actually kept it. Actually, a lot of them kept it. Unfortunately, though, they in many other places got that modern treatment, and they all got kind of boring, and people just quit going there. And that's the thing, though. And that's kind of where I want to kind of talk about this. I think we're getting to the point where this trend is starting to die. Like, I think we're starting to see it die. Because, I mean, we're seeing these places, declining and all that. We are seeing it. A lot of people, like I've noticed, get their food to go or something. They don't sit down anymore. Especially at McDonald's and all that. Like, I go there sometimes, but not a lot. Their food's not really, like, I'll say that I like their chicken sandwiches and their nuggets. Well, their nuggets don't taste as good as they used to. It could be because I've been eating them a lot, but I don't know. I think even before that, they taste kind of more dry. They don't taste as fresh. It honestly freaking kind of tastes like, freaking hospital food. I should know from experience because, I went to the hospital cafeteria when I, fractured my elbow. I guess it would still be broke it, but I fractured it. and all that, walking to GameStop and all that. And I had the same thing, when I was hospitalized and onto a medication, which, sucked. But they had like a very small amount of food and all, and it tastes horrible. Like the tater tots and all they serve there, like they taste like they're days old. My mom was trying to say, oh, it's like they're trying to make it more, like, I don't know, like, what was it? Not healthy, like more good for people who go to the hospital. But I'm like, I mean, people in the hospital don't need to be eating this kind of stuff. They're going there to get treated and all that. And when you're doing that kind of crap, it feels more like you're just being lazy and making shitty stuff and making excuses, and all. It doesn't feel like you really are doing it because you care. And that's kind of how all this goes. It's like everything's getting cheaped out. Like, it's with these restaurants. They're trying to say it's because of the kids and all that. And some people in the comments are saying that too on Facebook and all that, where people saying McDonald's are like good, these McDonald's are now a bunch of gray boxes. It'll keep kids from wanting to go there so they'll stay in shape. And I'm like, you do realize McDonald's a lot of them had play areas, right? Not all of them, but a lot of them did. And a lot of these places, that got these modern treatments gave you other options to eat. You didn't have to eat junk food, Like Subway, for example. Freaking Subway. I mean, I would say Taco Bell, but Taco Bell does have its meat in there. But I can say freaking crap like freaking Subway. You could go in there and pick your own stuff, vegetables and stuff and all that, or anything like that. They took out all the your unique stuff on the walls and all that. You can't see them making the food anymore. They said something about because of the sun reflecting off the glass or something. That's why they did that. But I'm like, it kind of ruins the vibe when you can't see people making the food, and all. And I mean, the sun's not gonna get to all the locations because some of the Subways, their food's in the back, so the sun can't really get to it, so you can't really have it blind you. I don't know. It feels more like, again, they're making it more simple and all that. But like I said, people are getting fed up with it. People are just done with this shit. And they're also trying to go out here and push crap like saying, oh, freaking this color is bad, this or that. I'm like, freaking red dye is bad. I made a whole video talking about Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are fucking problematic. That's kind of the world we're in. Pop-Tarts are problematic, I mean, I guess they've been problematic for a while now, but I'm like, they're trying very hard to get rid of them and saying this red dye is a problem. I'm like, it was never a problem, and I mean, I've eaten it. I've eaten Pop-Tarts several times growing up. I mean, I kind of got burnt out of them over the years, but I would eat them all the time, when I was little, and it was never a problem. And, other foods have red dye in it, too. It's just so stupid, I don't understand why it's suddenly a problem, it's just I don't know, it's just ridiculous, and I mean, that's the problem with the stores, though. The stores are starting to kind of make the same mistake the restaurants are doing. I've heard rumors, I don't know if this is true, but this wouldn't surprise me, about Walmart trying to get rid of red dye. I've heard about that, they're trying to get rid of red dye. I don't know about yellow, but they are trying to get rid of red dye, and all I'm trying to say is problematic. And I'm like, that's just gonna stir up more shit. It's not going to fix anything. It's gonna, cause more shit. Because again, people are fed up with it. People are just fed up with it. Now they've been pushing this shit over the seas for a while, by the way. Especially restaurants. If you guys look on Google Maps, a lot of these restaurants overseas, you notice they're not as colorful and all that. They're more colorful over here in the U.S. They've been pushing that shit overseas for a long time. I will say America, I'm not going to say it's the greatest country ever. It has its problems, but when it comes to these places, it was fun back then, Now, to be fair, I mean, working on Google Maps and all that, during, the 90s and all, you can't really do that. But yeah, I mean, I've looked on there, and a lot of those places look like they've been remodeled and all that, and they look very, they don't look great. They look kind of like, again, they've already kind of lost their charm to them. But yeah, I don't know. That's just stupid. This whole thing is just dumb. And again, it's taking away business and all that. And I want to remind you, I'm an adult, and I hate that they did all this, and especially Taco Bell and all that as well. Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, you know, Pizza Hut, they completely removed the buffet stuff. I'm guessing they did that maybe because people weren't going in there, but I'm like, you kind of are getting rid of your identity. You're doing the same thing McDonald's is doing. I think what Pizza Hut needs to do is I think what they need to do is go to Chuck E. Cheese and like maybe put some arcade machines in there. I heard that Pizza Hut used to have arcades in them. I don't know if they still do, but I heard they used to. Now that would be probably some interesting competition against Chuck E. Cheese, but I don't know, but that would be kind of an interesting thing. I guess McDonald's kind of did that too. They had to make a little bit of arcade stuff too. But they need to kind of do something because otherwise they're not going to last and all that. I guess to be fair though, they are kind of McDonald's and Crackle Barrel is learning this they kind of screwed up really big time here, but some of these places, like I say, Taco Bell, they've been remodeling some of their locations, but they've been keeping the the roofs and all that instead of making them flat and boring and all that, so they're kind of listening there. And then McDonald's is kind of listening they're kind of bringing back fan favorites, like they brought back McDonald Land. I don't know if it'll come back next year. I kind of hope it does, but we got that. And then Pizza Hut is actually leaving. I think they're leaving a lot of their locations alone, I believe. I could be wrong with this, but there's one in Holt Summit. There's a Pizza Hut in Holt Summit that I went to. They actually have left it alone. They have not touched it. They said they were going to remodel it a few years ago, but they have not touched it. And I don't know if that's because they didn't have the money to do it because of the business or something, or not. But I wouldn't think not having customers would matter. I figured they would still be wanting to remodel it. Now it's been touched up a little bit. They removed the unique looking lanterns from the tables and all, but it still has the red roof on it. It's still got the carpet in there. They still got the buffet. They actually opened it back up. And I might think that's the thing though. These places need to do that more. They need to bring back this stuff more and stop trying to, appeal to, the modern ages. Because I'm like, what's the point of going modern again if people don't like it, I just don't see the point of it. Especially if you're gonna change your damn identity up, Now the issue though with a lot of these places though is they're fixing some of their problems, but they all are like having a problem one after another with each other. Like although Pizza Hut, I haven't noticed as many, locations getting remodeled anymore. They're not really doing much with their, they're not really bringing back, I heard the pizza and stuff's kind of not the same, so a lot of the food and all that is kind of not as good. I don't eat pizza, so I can't say that, and all that. And then, Taco Bell and all that, they brought back their buildings and all that, but the problem is with Taco Bell is, they brought back they're keeping a lot of their older, roofs, they're slinted roofs and not cheap ones, but they're, also running into a problem where, Taco Bell needs to Taco Bell, still kind of, it doesn't look like a Taco Bell. It looks more like it still looks kind of, like the same restaurant. Because back then, Taco Bell had that, Taco Bell's problem is, back then they looked more like an actual Taco Bell, like they were from, representing Mexican culture, but they got rid of that, and then apparently, and of course, the obvious McDonald's, they're bringing back nostalgic stuff, but their buildings look completely bad and all that. So you can kind of see the problem here. You can see a little bit of they're all sharing some major problems still, you know. But the fact that I feel like I think they are learning slowly, but they got to do something, you know, because they don't do anything, then there's going to be a problem. And we're seeing it with Burger King. Burger King is actually kind of going back into this too. Now I was going to make my own video talking about this, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it. There's talk that Burger King is going to change their play areas again, apparently. I actually might take a look at that in a second. Hopefully the internet works on my, this old phone here, but, because it is a little bit slower. That's probably the one thing the new phone has over this. It's a little bit slower, but, I kind of want to show you guys that, but yeah, they're talking about changing it, which I'm like, I don't know, I mean, I'm like, the play area they have now, it's a lot bigger, and a lot of these it's not like super big, but it's definitely not as cheap, and it's more colorful looking than McDonald's. Because I can tell you guys right now, again, people want the color, people want color back, and like I said, these crazy people online and all that. Again, not saying everybody, because some people might believe certain stuff, and there were, again, studies with certain stuff, but I'm like, again, like, how come it was never a problem before, and now it suddenly is a problem, you know? You guys can see what I'm saying here, and all that, but Burger King's another one of those places, too, like I said, but Burger King actually has not been remodeling a bunch compared to the others. Actually, Burger King, ironically, actually, I think is one of the first ones to learn this lesson. Burger King was going down this route, like the other locations. But Burger King actually kind of went back, really quick. I mean, they went back, like, they brought back the old logo, they brought back their classic commercial. I mean, it does have a different singer in there, but that's because their BK singer, the older one's probably older or probably gone by now. And then also they're doing things with their Whoppers and all that, and you can see that they're actually bringing stuff back. Now I've heard some people say they're kind of split on the new logo compared to Crackle Barrel, though, which just looked like shit. Like, this looks like shit here. I mean, they kind of just took away the whole thing. The Burger King's, I don't know, Burger King's, at least they put effort into it. It looks like an actual burger, you know? Now, I guess to be fair, though, if it had, the Burger King guy, maybe I'd probably be a little bit more upset, but I don't know. The thing is, though, is also, it's not really a country thing either, but that's the problem, I'll say, with Burger King in general. I always felt like Burger King never felt like an actual Burger King. It always felt like another fast food place. Compared to, like other places you kind of know, like what it was back then, with Burger King, though, like, you figured, like, it being a Burger King, you figured it would have, like a castle or something like that. I think I heard they used to have their crown-shaped nuggets, because I kind of forgot about those. But yeah, they used to have crown-shaped nuggets. I'm not sure why they changed that. It seems kind of weird, but I'm like thinking they didn't have to probably pay me anything. They probably just brought a freaking cookie cutter or something and just made it that way. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Burger King, though, is definitely one of those restaurants, though, I will say they think like they're kind of learning this lesson first, and others kind of followed it. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think the thing is, though, these stores are starting to learn and all, and they need to do that, because I feel like people want to go back to these older places, because that's the problem. They're going to keep losing business. I'm seeing it myself. Maybe other people don't, but as somebody who grew up going to, like, McDonald's and all that in the past, I can tell you guys, a lot of these places are, like becoming emptier. Like, there are people who are going to them, but not as much. I've been noticing declining, and that's not good. Like, I want them to go back and be fun again. And McDonald's is bringing back, their they're bringing back some of the stuff, but they need to go back. I think they need to go back and remodel their locations again. Bring back the color, bring back the roofs, you know. Or heck, if you want to, you can bring back the original style. I mean, yeah, I'll say the red roof ones look, I think, better in my opinion, but do something than just making them look like, again, just generic boxes, because those up there, they look horrible and don't look anything like a McDonald's. Like, you can't even tell, you know, so yeah. But yeah, it's just like you can't really force it on people either, and that's kind of the problem to a lot of these places, especially McDonald's, that have been really heavily forcing people to go to these places, you know. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm just like, you can't, again, people are gonna, what you're doing here is driving away people. It's like these tourist attractions, you know, like I mean, they've remodeled a lot of themed restaurants, especially McDonald's. I don't know, like, a lot of the other ones having a lot of themed ones, but McDonald's definitely had themed locations. They remodeled or got rid of most of their locations. So, like, Texas had like 3 back in the day, 3 or 4. I know they had their Happy Meal box one. They had they had an animal one, and then they had an alien one. Which I think the alien one they did move somewhere else, but I think they made it modernized too. Because they have an alien one in I think it's in New Mexico too. But unfortunately, they remodeled again all these locations, or some of them got tore down. And unfortunately, people cannot see them anymore. And that's kind of the thing too, you know. Even the one in Holt Summit that I told you guys about, it was a themed one. It got remodeled, and you know, they took away everything that made it look cool, and people are just not happy about it. People just don't like it. But yeah, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like I've said before, they need to just go back to, you know, the way they were before. And if they could do that, then, you know, it would make people a lot more happy, you know. Instead of trying to push it more and more on people, because we've seen it, you know, fail before in other companies. And people just gonna refuse to, you know, spend their money there. And yeah, I'll say fast food is getting kind of expensive too. But I think it would be a little bit more worth it. Again, these places looked unique, you know. I would still think you should probably drop the price a bit too. Especially on freaking McDonald's. Like, they were trying to charge me like $14 for freaking these McDonald's, you know, Happy Meal toys. Which I didn't even get all the Happy Meal toys of the McDonald's ones, because I just gave up. Because I was like, I didn't want to keep spending freaking $14 plus tax. Actually, no, it was $14 because that was the tax you know, included in it. And I'm like, I don't want to pay that, especially I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna get. You know, so yeah, I don't know. But before I get going, I want to show you guys the Burger King thing I was talking about, because I was gonna make that a separate video, but I think I'm just gonna show it off here because there's not really a lot to say. Because I didn't really grow up in the '90s, so I don't really know what Burger King's play areas looked like. So, hang on. Okay, apparently this is gonna be it. Apparently. That's gonna be the new play area. My god, it looks like freaking from Recess. There, you know those play areas in schools? God, you know, sometimes, I hate to say this, but sometimes I do miss elementary school. Not a ton, because I hated 5th grade and all that, but you know, and Cowboy Hills wasn't my favorite, but there were some things I did like, especially going out in the play area. Apparently it seems like they're gonna bring them back, because, kids have been, because, apparently they've been lacking play areas, which is pretty cool. But you can see this one, look how small this one is. I don't know when that was taken. See, that's actually what you know, they've turned them all into, though, see? Like, McDonald's went this route and all that. But somehow that looks better than McDonald's, and that's not even looking that great. I mean, that looks kind of small. But yeah, apparently a lot of them are going to bring it back. Now, I told you guys I've actually, I told you guys I actually have, have I said, yeah, I've said this, I actually recorded some of them. But I'm just saying, a lot of people would really like I said, McDonald's need to do this. I'm going to say Burger King's kicking your guys' asses right now. Remember, Burger King was not really, I mean, heck, I think even other fast food, I don't think Burger King was, as well known. I don't know what the heck's going on. See, it's like it buffers. I think what I need to do on here is probably go and delete some stuff. You know, it probably would help. Just delete some stuff on there. I don't know. But I'll figure that out later. But I did want to show you guys that because, like I said, that's what they're going to be going with that. So, like I said, they're kicking people's asses. And that's what I'm saying. Like Burger King, I mean, especially McDonald's, because Burger King was always second to McDonald's. I always thought they were kind of lower because I feel like people, you know, like even back in the day when they made tier lists, they would always rank Burger King lower. Of course, it was mostly the food, not really the atmosphere stuff. I don't know. I never really hated Burger King's food. I don't know. I never really hated them. I when I was little, I did like McDonald's more, but I don't know. Burger King wasn't that bad to me. Of course, they had a similar problem McDonald's does in the freaking Boulevard. This is the old location of Boulevard, which is now a Slim Chicken, which its food sucks. It tastes all dry and all that. It's like, again, like the cafeteria food at the freaking hospitals, you know, and all that. Like, it just tastes like it's freaking not fresh and all that, you know. It's like, I'm not paying money to go. I mean, Slim Chicken seems like a nice thing, but, and employees there seem very nice, but the food there doesn't taste, it tastes kind of not fresh, But yeah, but that's the thing too. Like I said, it's just like their machines though did not work they weren't working at all, and then they closed it down. Yeah, it closed down, and I was thinking for a while there it might have closed because they opened a new one up somewhere else. But this one was still open a couple years afterwards. You know, I showed it off on Google Maps, so I don't know. This one actually has looks like an airplane in it, doesn't it? I don't know. Kind of weird. But yeah, it's like like the internet just froze up or something on there. That's the problem. Like I said, it's just gonna do. I don't have to kick myself out of it. It's alright though. I'm about done anyway. If not, I could always pause the video anyway. But I'm done. I'm about done anyway because I gotta do a review because I'm gonna be getting ready to go to bed here soon. But I do have a review planned for you guys for like you know, Halloween and all that because I got a couple of them. But yeah, I just wanted to share this because I do think that we are getting out of this stage where, especially Burger King's doing this. I think we're going to start seeing this in other locations too. Because again, like I said, they're going to have to do something, otherwise they're going to go under. I'm just saying. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and see you guys later. Bye-bye.